Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Saggy, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general reads. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Justice card, right? So it looks like you have a very big decision to make this week, right? It's looking like you're really having to tap into your own inner faculties to really decide what it is that you're going to align with and where it is that you are ready, willing and able to show up. Remember, the Justice card is a card of commitments. This is where you sign on that dotted line. It's where something is legally binding. It is where you effectively marry something. This could be a job, it could be a house, it could be a person. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is where you really decide to commit to something on that deeper level, and very often in the real world as well. The Justice card, the Lovers card is more about choice to me, whereas the Justice card is very much more about commitment. There's a difference between a choice and a commitment, right? A choice is something that you get to make kind of your own free will. A commitment is something that you go in and then you're tied to. And this, for me, like especially this week, in all of these sectors in some way, shape or form, you're having to really show up. You're having to really commit yourself to what it is that you say you're going to do. For your, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. For your actions and options this week, you get the Ace of Pentacles, right? So this is great. This could potentially be a financial opportunity of some sort. It could be something that over the course of the next year you are tied to. So whatever you're doing this week, it does have an element of, you know, it is going to be at least a 12-month commitment. So you're having to think really hard about what you're doing, but more importantly, you're having to really delve into something at the deepest kind of level. This is you know, because the Ace of Pentacles is very much about the real world. And so this suggests that you are having to show up in that way. Now, the Ace of Pentacles also suggests this is either a new job for some of you. This could be a new home for some of you. This could be, you know, a new endeavor of some sort. It is going to take commitment. You are having to show up. You are really having to be about it. Now, the beauty of Sagittarius energy is when you guys decide you're riding, like you're in. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's none of this kind of wishy-washy business. Like, Sagittarius is basically all in or they're all out. And it looks like this week you're really starting to make that decision on a deeper level. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Four of Swords. So you've got this with the Justice card. I am going to say this to you. Whatever you are deciding to commit yourself to this week, do give it some thought, right? If you're able to postpone it, then do. Remember, at the moment, Mercury is retrograde. So that's something that you want to think about. Venus is currently retrograde as well. By the time we get to the end of this week, as in the very end of this week, Venus will be direct. Mercury goes direct on like the 4th or the 5th, I believe, of February. So it's not long to go. It just suggests, because it's the Four of Swords, right? Communication. This is a week to take it slow. Any information that you have to process, do it slowly, do it determinedly, take your time with it. You've got this with the Justice card. If you're thinking about doing anything that is going to be a long-term, possibly legal commitment, this does suggest that you are really needing to consider the fine print, and that maybe, just maybe, there is going to be not a reversal. The word that I'm looking for is a repeal in some way, shape or form. So this is something to to really give some time and some consideration to. And also, because it is the Four of Swords, I would advise you to step away from something before you make the final decision on it. So it's kind of like, you know, when you go to buy like a new car or a new home or to take out a loan, they give you a breathing period where you can go away and kind of take a minute to really think about it. This would be a wise week to do that, right? Especially when it comes to conversations. This is the week where too many cooks will spoil the broth. You don't need more opinions, you need more self-direction, which is something you guys do really well. But everybody needs a sounding board, right? So when it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could be a week where new responsibilities are given to you, new expectations show up for you in some way, shape or form. And I gotta be honest with you, sorry, this feels for me like you are, it's like you're having to take a minute, like the new, whatever it is, right? And even if it comes with a pay rise, it's like you're having to really consider, do I actually want to do this? It's all well and good you telling me that these are my new responsibilities, but does that feel right to me? And does it feel like it's in my remit? Or does it feel like it's in my pay bracket? This is a week to really think about this stuff, especially if you have the opportunity to increase the finances because of it. So you might be able to bargain or barter here, but you are having to really take a moment to think about it before you do. For those of you that are business owners, people that work for themselves, honestly, take a break this week, right? This is a week to take it to ground. Even for those of you that are retired and no longer working, take a break this, and for those of you that are employed as well, take a break, right? Take a breather. Whenever the Four of Swords shows up, this is something that I've observed in my own life anyway. Whenever the Four of Swords shows up, it's usually a moment at which the tarot is saying, take this moment to rest, because soon enough you're not going to have that option and you may wish that you had taken some time out. All right, heed that lesson. For your love and relations, you've got the Empress right underneath the Ace of Pentacles, right? This is gorgeous. For those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments, that's pregnancy energy, that's marriage energy, that's taking the relationship to the next level energy. This is elevation of the relationship and the partnership in some way, shape or form. On a really sort of more mundane level, this could just be like a really juicy kind of very intimate personal time with lots and lots of loving and enjoyment. When it comes to, I know that's a lot more subdued than the way that I would usually say it, but you know where I'm going with that. For those of you that are single, same kind of energy, just multiplied, you know, maybe with potential partners. For those of you that are single that have somebody kind of in the forefront or maybe even in the background, this could be the week where you make it official, where it finally goes ahead, right? You decide that I want more. Maybe we need to title this, maybe to, you know, gotta put a ring on it, you know, all of that. But it's a good week, to be fair. For your money and materials, you've got the Moon card, and you've got this with the Four of Swords. Honestly, I feel like your mind, when it comes to the money, the resources and the finances, you may just go round and round and round on this. If you are going to get a sounding board, make sure it's somebody that you trust. I don't like the Moon card for money because it always suggests that the finances or the resources are fine, but you're either convincing yourself that the sky is falling when it isn't, or a financial opportunity that is on the table, it's not all it's cracked up to be, or you're not seeing it as clearly as you could. With Mercury and Venus retrograde at this moment in time, I would wager that it's a mixture of both. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Moon card is your endocrine system, right? And when I talk about the health stuff, let me just clarify. When I talk about the health stuff, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice, but if I see something and I'm kind of like, okay, if there is an issue this week, it's likely to be coming from here. You know then that if you go to a doctor or a healthcare professional or whatever, you can say to them, could you check this for me as well, right? When it comes to this is your endocrine system. It could potentially be your lymphatic system as well, on a more sort of mundane level, especially with the Four of Swords present. I would say this is a good week to look after your feet, your ankles, your toes, your legs. In fact, just your lower extremities, right, from the hips down. Look after them this week, especially if you're prone to getting sore feet. And then when it comes to the home and environment, I mean, you have this with the Empress card, so that's quite nice. And you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So I kind of feel like this is a week just to really take it easy. Like, if you can, if that's not possible, proceed with caution. It's kind of like, you know, when you're driving a road at night that you don't know and you've got the lights on, you know, you have to take it a little bit slower because you don't know if it's just going to be a hairpin left or, you know, a sharp right at any moment. Use this week in that way and I think you'll be fine. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care and I'll see you soon.